Um, moving on, other things in the future. The Big Ten title game might be moving. Also to a football stadium, which it should always be played into a football stadium.
It's good.
This one though is a little interesting and intriguing to me. This one reported from frontofficesports.com. They are saying that the people at Allegiant Stadium out in Vegas and the Big Ten are kind of having some early talks about moving the conference championship out there. Much like I said last week during expansion talk and everything else, I think this is one of those ones that just absolutely screws over every fan, especially in the Big Ten. When you consider that the current location and then another, I think maybe current or future location with Minneapolis are all within reasonable driving distance for most of the schools. There are two schools of the what's going to be 18 that are within driving distance by the time that this happens, and who knows, maybe even more. And I I don't know, like let's like thinking about it logically from the fan perspective, if my team is going, especially in the current Big Ten state, if my team is going to the Big Ten title game at the way that with probably not having divisions and 12 teams getting into the playoff, I'm probably looking at least another chance at seeing that team play again in the playoff, right? So that's another game. That's your bowl game, if you will. But that's also going to come a week or two after the conference championship. There's a chance that if they're a top 8 team, I'm going to have to fly to a destination to see them. And there's a chance that if they win, then there's a semifinal game. And then if they win again, there's a national title game. We're looking at easy 10 grand to 10, at least 10 grand to experience all of those games. I am not good that. So this whole point of me saying is I'm not going to Vegas to watch Penn State play in a Big Ten title unless I win the lottery, I think.
And I would like to think you're alone in that. Well, I would like to say think there's more people that feel that way. And I guess there are, but I guess the first part is nobody cares about the fans. They're putting on TV shows from different venues where they can get money, right? And where they think they're going to sell some tickets. They're going to get some, people are going to make a road trip to Vegas because you can get a cheap flight, right? So people are
On
going
a
to be
week's
like,
notice?
maybe not. That's fair. Well, you can
In like
fly Allegiant.
a hotel that is respectable in Vegas. I mean, you could get a very cheap hotel in Vegas.
Right.
But
No,
that's
it doesn't. But they don't care. Nobody cares about the fans. People say, oh, they don't. They're putting on TV shows and they're doing stuff. They're creating tonnage of content, and they don't care about the fans. And the fans
so
aren't bright enough to not show up. And Penn State fans haven't been not bright enough to show up since 2000. What was the game at Indiana where they scored at the goal line, right? Barely respected to respectably win. And then they came back to play Michigan State at home in the cold weather. They sucked that year. And the place is still sold out for a sucky team. People showed up. I'm like, nobody wants to vote with their backsides and not show up and support the program. And it's just not going to happen. People are going to go to Vegas from Penn State or wherever it is.
I really think it's going to happen. I think especially if you know that, let's say, okay, I would project Penn State to be an 8 seed, right? So that puts them in the or top be top 4 seed or a top 6 seed. I guess I don't know what the math is, but that puts them going to a bowl game. It skips the on campus game.
Yep.
So now I've got to from Frederick, Maryland, or State College, PA, or wherever you're listening to this podcast, got to fly from here to Florida, Texas, California, and then knowing that really only about 8 stadiums right now can conveniently host and hold that game, the title game. I said this when the playoff expanded. I think I would skip the semifinal game if gun to my head, like that's how it would play out type thing, because I don't know. I just don't think, again, and I think that's a problem. I think your point is 100% correct, but I think it's a problem because that is the essential part of the college football experience puzzle is the fans. Like that is what makes college football uniquely different from the NFL. And I think this things like this and little things like this and little things like, you know, even more sponsors on games. God, I sound like you. It really just starts to wear down the momentum of all of that. And we are now in a diet NFL culture of sitting here on our couch watching and consuming all of these games because it's much cheaper, it's better, it's easier for me as a fan to do that.
Yeah, and it's yes, 100%. And it's just it's the contrived. You'll see the contrived stuff with the fans, and like the Taco Bell student section at the national championship game every year when they got like 100 students. Oh, we gave the ticket students. We gave them these crappy tickets. We could put the camera on them and say they're the best students we could get here from their school, and we gave them tickets, but who knows how they got there transportation wise and whatever else. No, the Big Ten's going to take the money from the sponsoring entity, town, arena, convention group, convention bureau, adventure bureau, whoever, if we're here, whoever, to get people to like more people to come there on a week's notice. No, it might be tougher. And I mean, and that's why I'm glad, you know, I mean, I was blessed. I had mine in 2016, right? My brother and some friends drive out. We're driving out Interstate 80. You get the BS and the talking and the whatever else out Interstate 80. And you stop at a hotel that's still 4 hours from Indianapolis because you drove through the night and you're going to get up at dark 30 from wherever it was, Western Ohio, and drive to Indianapolis to get there and get a spot and then walk around the town. I've had my Big Ten championship game, and it's great if everybody could get that. And it's a shame because fewer people are going to get it with stuff like this. Because it's just the road trip, the whatever else, you're going to Vegas. It's not the same as checking out Indy or checking out Minneapolis or whatever else. It's just not.
Well, the other thing is like, I think part of the appeal of Indy is like it's not over, like it is the show in town. That weekend it's not going to be the show in town in Vegas. Like it's just not. Like there's a billion other things to do there. And so I don't know, I think the conference title game loses its luster because then let's say bizarro weird scenario happens, but Maryland and Rutgers make the Big Ten title game, or Penn State and Maryland, which is relatively feasible, I think. Maybe not relatively. There's a non-0% chance of that happening. What the hell is the point of shipping everybody out there to play that game when you could play the game really so much closer? And I could think of 2 to 3 closer dome stadiums off the top of my head that are in Big Ten country that would get the job done.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.